All right. And welcome to Podcast of the Beholder. I am Bill, and this is Chuck. And this is part two of the Kill 'Em All review. And how you doing today, Chuck?
Man, it's a good day. I love fall weather. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not a fan of the heat and humidity when it gets over 90. So it's pretty decent weather here. I'm in a good mood.
Yeah. The funny thing is living in New York and living there for the years I lived there, and I'd occasionally come home and everything, but most of the time it was only like a week stint at a time. And now moving back here and being home for 3 years, I really realized just how hot South Carolina's summer. Or I am kind of ready for some cool weather, man, because it has been
Yeah,
brutal.
yeah. I like fall. I'm not a fan of snow and winter, but I do love fall and scary movies and everything that is October.
Well, speaking of that, I know this is off topic, but my other podcast there, I'm doing an October Halloween horror series, talking about some different horror movies and stuff like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm a premiere video every week in October in the month of October. So
Cool. I've checked those out. I do love scary movies. Can't
awesome.
wait for the new Halloween one.
Yeah, I've seen the trailer for that. That looks killer.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch the most recent one right before just to kind of refresh myself on it.
Yeah.
So, so we have some Metallica current events coming on before we get back into the Kill 'Em All. Did you see that they just played in Louisville last weekend
Yeah, I've seen that.
on the Sunday night, the second night they actually did one of those Black Album in reverse. They played the entire album. That's pretty cool.
Oh, nice.
And then they also did two like really small club shows. I know one was Chicago. Do you remember where the other one was? It San Francisco?
I can't remember. Were
But those
those
had
kind of
pretty.
like the secret shows that we're talking about?
Yeah, but the one I'd heard about before it happened. So how secret
Yeah,
is it if I heard
I know,
about it
right?
the day of the show?
Well, the reason why I'm
So
asking, they got T-shirts now up on the website from those two shows.
uh, I'll probably end up buying one of the bootlegs on the Metallica site. I love it when they do pretty cool set lists. Nothing like super rare or anything, but
Yeah,
cool to see them from yet 2021.
yeah, oh yeah,
So I'll probably pick that up, or I might get the most recent one in London in Louisville. To I'd like to hear the whole Black album in its entirety live. That's a treat anytime a band does that.
oh yeah, no doubt, man.
So that's kind of current events, and I know another thing I sent you a picture of. Looks like Walmart's going to have a exclusive vinyl pop with the Black Album cover and four vinyl pops, and this one will include Jason, which is new.
Yeah,
So if you're a vinyl pop Metallica collector, keep on the lookout. It said that it's going to be pre-sale at Walmart, so I'll have to look into that. I'll probably get it.
yeah. I think the
So
price was like $49.95 or something like that. I think.
okay, I assumed it would be more than that. So
No, I think that
I
if
have to
I'm not
look.
mistaken, that's the price. Yeah,
Okay, cool. I have to check into that. So
yeah.
Kill 'Em All Part Two. We're not done killing them all yet, Bill.
I know, right? Hopefully this time we'll kill them all finally.
Last time we just killed them some of them, but now we're going to kill them
Yeah,
all.
I know, right?
So we had discussed the first six tracks. We kind of went off the vinyl record last time, and the first track we're discussing today is "Phantom Lord." Bill. So
Yeah,
you want to start us off with that one?
yeah. Phantom Lord. Actually, this has a really kind of a weird but kind of cool intro to it. it almost sounds sci-fi to me, almost. It just has this kind of just, I don't know, like something that you would hear like the opening credits of like a Star Wars movie or something, and you would see the words kind of come up or whatever. It just sounds like something that I really think would but other than that, I mean, the song is killer. It crunches along, and it's actually one of the last songs that Dave Mustaine contributed to the album. Um,
Okay.
and no, wait a minute. No, actually, I think I am wrong on that. Hold on, let me just double check on that.
Well, he's on Metal Militia. I'm not sure
Yeah,
whether you mean time. It doesn't mean that was the last one he worked on.
yeah. No,
Um,
I mean, yeah. I had forgot Metal Militia. It was one of the third. What I meant was third of the fourth tracks that he contributed to this album or
that he
whatever. Yeah,
and the other ones were, of course, the Four Horsemen. It was Jump in the Fire, wasn't it?
yeah, yep,
And then Phantom Lord, and then Metal Militia.
yep.
And is it just one on Ride the Lightning?
Yeah, I think it's Cthulhu. Actually, no, I think there's two on Ride the Lightning. I think it's either Ride the Lightning or Fight Fire with Fire and Cthulhu.
You're right. See, I asked that probably because I think I already knew. I think he's on a couple of those.
Yeah,
So we'll have to cover those here when we get to it.
yep,
Phantom Lord's a really, really good, solid track. It kind of falls for me in the if it was just an average album, it would be an outstanding track, but it's surrounded by so much greatness that sometimes it gets overlooked.
yeah,
Almost like just a kind of a I almost compare it to Back in Black. If you're not one of the big songs on that album, you get overlooked. But No or Phantom Lord is a great solid track, and it sounds great live still. Whenever they pull it out,
yeah,
it's a vintage Hatfield voice. His voice sounds so young on that. I think sounds so cool and raw, and it's an outstanding track. To me, this album, to me, you don't hit skips for several albums for Metallica. So this is a track that I enjoy listening to. So Phantom Lord's a solid track.
yep. Oh, I totally agree with that. I mean, it's like I said, it's just an overlooked track on the album. But what do you say when you got a debut this good?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good thing.
Oh yeah.
That's a good thing. So after that is no remorse. Um, that's a cool, catchy song. It's good tempo. I really dig it. The vocals on it are very good. I think the solo in that song might stand out a little bit more for me. Seems like I like the solo a little bit more on that one. Very catchy. I dig the crap out of it. I think it's a song that very much is aged well for me. You could throw it in any concert today and still just love it. So that's no remorse for me.
Nice. No Remorse is one of those just again slamming albums on slamming songs on this album. It actually to me has almost like a mini Four Horseman feel to it. It's speedy, it's fast, it's just thrash, it's in your face, and it's just it's one of those songs because like when you listen to the first six songs on the album, and then you come in the backside of this album, you hit Phantom Lord, and like I said, Phantom Lord is a great track on its own, and then you think, oh, it's kind of slowed down, and then all of a sudden it's like, bam, No Remorse hits you, and you just like, okay, I woke up. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's just so killer, man. It's just so fast, and it's one of those songs you can't help not to want to put on repeat, and or one of those songs you just can't not have in, your playlist. I mean, where can you go wrong with a song like No Remorse? And it's just, I don't know what more to say about it other than it's just a slamming track.
Right. Metallica is a group. It's hard to make a playlist. Like I said, there's kind of no filler. Like if you make a greatest hits, what do you leave out of this album? There's so many, excuse me, so many great tracks. So
Yeah, I mean,
No Remorse. The next one, Seek and Destroy. Wow, I love the intro riff to that is just amazing, and it's one of those songs. It's like if this was anybody else's band, it could easily be their biggest hit. But some people would maybe put it in the top 30.
yeah,
It's such a catchy song, and just the riff on it is so amazing, and it's such a good song. Four Horsemen is my favorite on the album, but this is definitely number 2 for me. It's been on most tours. It's a classic song. It's so stinking good. I can't say enough things about Seek and Destroy. What's your thoughts on Seek?
Oh, Seek is a killer track, man. Seek and Destroy, like I said, is another one of those tracks on the album, man. It's just killer. It's playlist worthy. It's no filler whatsoever. What I mean, really, what can you say other than it just I love that kind of like intro part and that little that famous riff from Seek and Destroy, man, and it's just so catchy and it's okay. And for those of you who do not know, and those of you who are professional wrestling fans, Sting come out to this song for a few times when he was in his WCW days. I want to say it was Crow looking era, or post Crow looking era. I know it was one time there in his career he came out to Seek and Destroy for a little while.
I need to look that up. I don't remember that. I just don't remember it. So
Yeah, you
see,
can
was it?
find videos of it.
I was, okay. Wasn't there a ECW? Did Sandman used to come out to Sandman?
Sandman came out to Sandman, but it was a cover. It was a Motorhead cover.
Okay. See, I had forgot about that.
Yeah,
It's only fair that they finally cover a Metallica song. Metallica surely covered enough Motorhead songs.
I know, right? Actually,
Yeah, I need to go ahead.
speaking of that, Motorhead, that last cover album they did a version of Whiplash.
I think I've heard that. Was it Motorhead or was it just one of those ones where it was just Lemmy and like random guys with it?
No, I think it was actually Motorhead.
Okay. Not that there's a huge difference. Lemmy
No,
is Motorhead, really.
I mean,
So, I will have to look and find Sting Seek and Destroy entrance. That's pretty cool.
speaking of Lemmy, just to throw this out here for a minute, if anybody's ever seen the movie Airheads, there's a question when they want to know if the one guy trying to get in the radio station is a cop, and they ask him, so who would win in a wrestling match, Lemmy or God? And the guy's like,
Trick question. Lemmy is
yeah,
God.
yeah, he's like God. He's like, no trick question, Lemmy is God. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those, you know,
I
Lemmy.
remember seeing that movie when it came out to theaters. It was decent enough.
Yeah, yep. I used to
Wasn't
do a
going to win
break
any Oscars.
in a while. No,
You used to do what? I'm sorry.
I say usually. I sometimes I break the soundtrack out of that sometimes and listen to it.
Yeah, I can't remember. Wasn't there an Anthrax song on there too?
I think so on a Motorhead song.
Okay. I don't think I
I
ever
know.
had the soundtrack to that one.
Yeah, Motorhead did a music video for the song they did. It was called "Born to Raise Hell."
Okay. I do like that song. I didn't realize that that's where it originated from.
Yep.
Cool. That brings us to the album closer and Metal Militia. I very strictly remember hearing this one on cassette as a young lad, and just it seems like they took the speed up a little bit on this one. I remember just when you're used to the Air Supply and the Journey and stuff that was on the radio in the early 80s. This is long before you could just find anything you want to listen to on your phone or internet. And just hearing this, I just remember, like, I remember getting to that last track and just sitting there with my jaw open, how fast it was. And it's a cool track. Just so freaking stinking fast and great. It's a great way to end the album, if you ask me.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I mean,
Um,
it's.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say it's a killer ending track for this album. I mean, you think about it. You start out with like "Hit the Lights," and it goes from "Hit the Lights" to the Four Horsemen, and I mean, there's no dud on this album, and you can't. You know what I'm saying? It's not. You know, if you could say there was a filler track on here, tell me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, maybe there are a couple tracks that aren't as esque as like I would say the Four Horsemen or No Remorse or Seek and Destroy, but they're all great songs in their own right. And Metal Militia is just one of those songs. When I listen to it, man, I think of like this medieval cavalry come riding out of the woods, in the battle, and it just you know it's just, and something, I'm thinking of that. That would actually be a really kick ass name for like a metal band, Metal Militia. You know, um, that would be really cool. You know,
There might
and like
be a
you said,
Metallica cover band out there called Metal Militia.
I know have to look and see. Um, but and like you said, it's just fast, and it almost makes him like speed metal band almost to a certain extent. It's a
Yeah.
hell of a closer.
Up until that time, it was definitely the fastest thing I had ever heard.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Um, so this is a debut released in 1983. It's only a year until the next one. Man, I would have loved to have seen them in '83 and like wonder if I mean I would say anybody seeing them in '83 in concert, no way they could know the impact that they would have, in the history of metal and where they'd be, 40 years later.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt, man. You think about it. I mean, they were. I mean, like they say, when Ride the Lightning come out, people didn't even know it was out. It was just word of mouth. Bam, we got a new record out, and next thing you know, man, it's Metallica's like blowing up everywhere, and it's if I have to say that Metallica hit with the right time, with the right music, the right sound, just everything that I think that the metal world needed at the time. And I mean, you think about it, man. Early '80s, man. You got all this glam rock, dominating the Sunset Strip and LA and all this stuff. And you got all these bands out here, and here comes this band, man. Jeans, t-shirts, just sound that's just like out of nowhere, man. And they drop an album like Kill 'Em All. I mean, how could they not take over the world? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just if of course, some people still today, it's like, oh, Metallica and all that. Okay, well, prove to me a band that's better. I mean, I'm not saying there's not any great bands out there, but and maybe Metallica in their older age is not what they were when they dropped Kill 'Em All in '83. But I'm gonna tell you what, right now, I mean, I would put Kill 'Em All up against just anybody's debut album and tell me that you can find a better record.
Yeah, it's aged very well. I think it probably inspired countless people with their, countless bands probably goes to Kill 'Em All as one of their go-tos that, got them into music.
Mm-hmm.
I think Metallica started, I mean, of course they were a lot rougher around the edges, but I think that they evolved in a great way to still keep some of the sense of just the music. They didn't go, I mean, they evolved from Kill 'Em All, but they still kept the spirit, you know, in later albums. I think they had the perfect evolution as far as growth songwriting wise and harmonies, and some of their people threw a fit when Fade to Black came out. Oh, that's a
Yeah.
ballad. So no ballads on this one, but I think they had the perfect. They evolved perfectly from album to album almost every time
Yep.
for quite a while. So just four hungry guys that just wanted to take over, and I still listen to this album, hundreds of listens later, and it's still great. It's still fresh. It's not a chore. I don't say, oh, I haven't listened to that in a while. I guess it's a treat every time I put it in, and it's a no skip, 10-track, darn near perfect album. And I know we talked about this in the first episode. As a kid, it was a 12-track because my original had Am I Evil and Blitzkrieg on them, which I still sometimes mentally I'll still wait to hear those tracks at the end, and they're not there. It kind of it's funny how you get used to it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So, but we've got a little time to kill here. I know our next episode we're going to do a special just on the new Black one, the anniversary for the Black album. But this is that's a horrible glare. There, that's a little bit better. How cool is this set, Bill?
Oh, it is killer. I will say that having a set like this, man, and going through and just being able to get not only Kill 'Em All, but Kill 'Em All remastered, and some live era stuff from that time, on a hardback book and everything, and some live CDs and DVDs and stuff. I mean, you even got a Metallica patch here that is like badass. I mean, you've got the reissue of the first album. Like I said, you got the vinyl. I mean, of course, you've got Jump in the Fire, the picture disc, which I have.
That's
I have it
that's
here
such a
somewhere,
wicked looking disc. It is.
and I actually have the cassette version of that too.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I know it's greedy, but there's a Hit the Lights vinyl single that's pretty hard to find.
Oh yeah.
For under 50, 60 bucks. It'd be nice if they'd have thrown a replica of that in here. This is the first one that they did. I know you got yours out too.
Yep.
Back then they just had the white with the black lettering. Starting Master of Puppets is when they started going into the more official looking artwork for the CDs and DVDs. XTC of Gold, Hit the Lights, Horseman, Jump in the Fire, Phantom Lord, No Remorse. This is one of the first, or the first, Ride the Lightning. Motor Breath, Anesthesia, Whiplash, Seek and Destroy, and Metal Militia. That's just awesome. I'm surprised they didn't do no covers on this one.
And pretty much if you kind of look at it, I mean, minus Ride the Lightning, that's pretty much the first album, live.
Right.
And I didn't realize it, I guess, until up to maybe a few years ago. I was just kind of maybe also maybe kind of dumb to the fact that they had been coming out the SSC of Gold. Seems like forever. I always thought it was something recently they had did around the Black Album era, and then I come to find out, and yeah, you got the hardback book here with just tons of photos.
So sweet.
Photos of Cliff and stuff like that, man. I mean, it's just.
Now, what I did for my box set is I got the Paris or the Paris, France download card, and I downloaded it. And see, I still listen to my iPod because I like Spotify, but I listen to a lot of bootlegs. So I downloaded it in case something ever happens to my computer. I've got that ready to roll.
Nice.
But just some really cool shows. You got a DVD from Chicago. The first three are missing sound.
Yeah.
But there's some really cool. Looks like Creeping Death. Go ahead.
I would have loved to heard the Four Horsemen on that DVD. That would have been so killer.
I know. Interviews is really good. Are you much for the rough mixes and stuff, or do you kind of skip over those?
I do sometimes. Like sometimes I'm interested in hearing how a song progressed from originally what it was from what it sounded like. You're gonna kind of, I guess I've never really been a real big fan of demos and rough mixes and stuff, but I have got into it kind of. I think really what got me into it is when they released that thing for when they did Death Magnetic, and they released that Coffin set, and they
wasn't
had
it called Demo Magnetic or something?
Yeah, Demo Magnetic, and you heard the different variations of the songs and stuff that originally like what they were going to originally sound like, or the titles that they had, some of them and stuff. It was that's kind of what got me into it.
Now, one thing, I got one of the live shows in Middletown. The first 2 or 3 sets didn't have inner sleeves for the CDs. Now they come with a little black sleeve that go inside that. I'm glad for that.
Yeah.
But such a cool set. These are getting harder and harder to find every day.
Yeah.
You could find them, but you're going to pay $300 or upwards, even higher.
I don't know but I know the Ride the Lightning set is still on the Metallica.com.
Yeah, for some reason, Ride the Lightning and Justice are the two that are still pretty readily available for under $200.
Yeah.
But the live side of this one has Phantom Lord and Seek and Destroy. Those sound pretty cool. And I do love, and I haven't messed with my black one, and we'll go into that next week. They do know that some people buy these, don't play their records, they just collect them.
Yeah.
So I love that they put the digital, and that's starting to be a thing that happens with a lot of records anyway these days, is they're including a download card. And I think that's great if you want to, save the wear and tear on your records. And there's and I know mine's a little different. There's a slip case that just a colored piece of paper that comes on the back of them. I always glue mine to the inside board, just so that I open it up and I see what's in there.
There you go.
So some people might be like, oh, that's the, I wouldn't do that to mine, but I'm never going to ever sell these, so
Yeah.
I kind of like having everything right there in my face so I know what I'm looking at.
I don't think I had the funny problem is I don't think I have the one for my Kill 'Em All set.
Uh,
Or maybe I stuck it inside the book. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I'm
uh,
thinking. Um,
so yeah, that's a killer set. I remember it was the first one that I got. I was behind when these first started coming out. I didn't have a lot of expendable cash, for big $200 sets. But then as things got better, I picked it up and just fell in love with it. How could you not just fall in love with the whole era when it's so well represented like that?
oh, well, exactly. You know, I forgot. I don't know if I got it when it originally came out. I think I had to wait a few months. I think I might have actually got that set for like Christmas. I think that's what I got. Somebody got it for me for Christmas. That was like the only thing somebody asked me, says, if you could have one gift for Christmas this year, what would it be? And I was like, I want the Metallica Kill 'Em All box set. And that's what I got for Christmas. And I was like a kid that got like a brand new bicycle or something other. I was like, yeah, and that might sound cheesy to some people, but you know what I'm saying. Metallica's my favorite band in the world, so you know, get anything you can
Now,
out of it.
are you a Kiss fan?
Truth be told, not really, but
Okay.
I do like Kiss Life. I do have like there was a set that Kiss came out with a few years ago that had Kiss Alive 2, I think it was like Kiss Alive 3, and there was like another live disc in it. I bought that set because as I'm not a big fan of Kiss in the studio, but I think they're a great sounding band live. I don't know what it
Okay.
is. I don't know what it is with Kiss, but they sound great live. But they're also a band that
The
I
reason
don't think I would pay to go see, but if I got free tickets, I'd probably go.
Okay. The reason why I bring that up is they just announced their breakthrough album, Destroyer, is at 45 years, 45-year anniversary of it, and they're doing a box similar to these, but they really dropped the ball on theirs. Theirs doesn't include the record. It's just the remastered CD, and then you got like two demo CDs, and then you got, for some reason, their Blu-ray is just a different mix of the album. So there's not
Yeah,
a concert Blu-ray, but there's a CD live show from Paris '76, but no vinyls at all. There's a vinyl issue, but that's like $60 and it's separate. So I mean, even when people try to duplicate these, they still fall short of everything that Metallica gives you. I think this
yeah,
one was originally 150,
yeah. I think so.
and if you pieced it out and sold it, or priced it up, it's such a great deal for what you get, everything that comes with it. Jesus.
Sorry, but I got a message.
Oh, that's all right. But just the such a cool era, and like I said, all these songs sound great live.
Yeah,
It's just it's a set that I go to a lot. Well, actually, of the five, I go to all five of them pretty randomly, but they keep getting bigger and bigger, so you know they're cool sets to have. But Kill 'Em All, such a great starting point. Um, there are fans that let go of Metallica after Justice. I've heard of the Kill 'Em All to Justice fans, and that's fine.
yeah,
I think that they evolved, and I don't know. I think there's never a time I'm like, oh crap, they're playing Metallica on the radio again. There's other songs I wish they'd play, but you know, any band that says we don't want to be on the radio is lying.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Well, no, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm just rambling on about, the
Well,
kind of where.
uh,
Good.
well, no, I was just going to say, first of all, to kind of finish up with Kill 'Em All here. Now, they did do a a digital release in this in 2006 to 2011 that came with Four Horsemen and Whiplash Live.
Okay.
And one of the biggest misconceptions I hear people when they do reviews of this album online is they think that Dave Mustaine actually played on the record, and they think that the solos that were done in the album were Dave Mustaine. Um, then they find out later that it was Kirk Hammett that was actually on the album and everything, because Dave was so prominent in that time of Metallica, and sometimes people kind of they forget about that, and like I was saying in the first episode, Dave had no matter what people want to say, love Dave, love Megadeth, hate Megadeth. That's your choice. But Dave Mustaine had a footprint and a big influence on those first two albums of Metallica. If you don't believe me, you go listen to Megadeth and tell me that I'm wrong. Okay, Dave Mustaine. I don't think he wrote any of the lyrics. I mean, I know he wrote, most of the, the music parts of some of the songs. But Dave Mustaine was a huge footprint in those first two albums of Metallica. And like I
Right.
said, Dave Mustaine's history in Metallica was short lived. But just think of the stuff the legacy he left behind. Because you think about it, he was on No Life Till Leather. Okay. He went on to have 4 songs on the debut album, 2 songs on the sophomore album, you know, that was you and you know what I'm saying? And whether people like it or not, or want to be like, oh well, when Dave wasn't a really viable asset to the band. Yes, he was. Because think about it, if you wouldn't have had mechanics, you wouldn't have had the Four Horsemen. And
Sure.
who knows, what other contributions that he brought to the band other than just that. I mean, it was it was it was a time, and Metallica can. That's why I'm hoping that someday they can work out some kind of deal with Dave Mustaine and release a box set for the No Life to Leather um, thing. Because I know at one time they had talked about doing it, and it never saw the
Right.
light of day. And because there was supposed to be a CD release of it, a vinyl release of it. Um, so I think it was supposed to be a box set like this, and it never came to fruition. But maybe someday, hopefully, that will. But
Yeah, that'd be so cool if they could, put their
yeah,
egos aside. And from what I hear, it was pretty close to happening.
yeah.
And I guess Dave and Lars didn't see eye to eye on everything.
So other
Now
than the
you've got the
original,
cassette there. Which songs are on there? Can you remind people?
yeah, it's Hit the Lights, The Mechanics, Motor Breath, Seek and Destroy, Metal Militia, Jump in the Fire, and Phantom Lord.
Okay. And those all have Dave playing on them.
Yeah, it's
See,
funny.
that needs.
Dave played on the demo, but Cliff Burton didn't. That was all Dave and Ron McGovney.
So that's Ron on that, not Cliff, right?
Yeah, because on the original demo, when you open like on the original demo, I saw somebody one time they showed it or something, and on the inside of it, the thing it says Cliff Burton does not play on this recording.
Hmm. Yeah, that needs to be that's such a huge piece of Metallica history that's there, and that would be so cool to have that on record and CD. You know. they wouldn't have to do a huge book on it, but a few page books with some colored pictures of the Dave era. I hope that they can put their crap to the side and know that us fans really want that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, I know I do. I'd love to have it.
Oh, I would. I mean, I don't like, I don't discredit Dave's contributes to Metallica. I think it made Metallica an amazing band and amazing musicians, and I think it did the same thing for Dave Mustaine. I mean, because without Metallica, you wouldn't have Megadeth either.
Right. Well, a lot of bands survive with two heads. You got Aerosmith, you got Tyler and Joe Perry, and Kiss is Simmons and Stanley, and Dave is a big presence. If you look at the old shows that's out there on YouTube with Dave and the band, he was the one talking in between songs.
Yep.
So when you have three such powerful presences, it's hard to do that. I mean, it's well documented how James and Lars haven't always got along.
Yeah.
Go see some kind of monster. Throw in a third person, and there's no way that could survive.
No.
So that was kind of doomed from the start. And like you said, I mean, it gave us Megadeth, and that's awesome. He still does, the mechanics from time to time. That's cool. He came out for their anniversary thing and did, a couple songs with the boys. That was cool. So cool to see.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's a video of the Big Four where, all those guys came out.
Yep.
After hearing James sing Am I Evil for so long, the other guys did not do it justice. I'll just say that.
No.
Like Joey
Yeah.
sounded absolutely horrible on Am I Evil.
Yeah.
But I mean, I love Joey. I love
Yeah.
Anthrax. I've seen him many times, but they just they shouldn't be doing Am I Evil.
Yeah. Some bands can, some bands can't.
Right. So yeah, I mean the Dave thing didn't work out. It wasn't meant to be, but he contributed to the first two albums, like you said, and we still got Megadeth, and they're still friendly enough that they still cohabitat every now and again.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll see the light of the day on that box set. Hopefully it'll be before I'm dead and gone.
Yeah.
But there's a demand for it. I mean, that tape was huge.
Yep.
Now see, was they able to release that and not get along with Dave, but not the box?
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that I don't know that. Well, see, here's the thing. This was only available on the website.
No, that was a record store day thing.
No, this was available only on the website. And it was a limited run. I think they only had like so many thousand copies, and when it sold out, it sold out. Because I remember it was $9.99 on the website, and I bought one. And at that time, I was kind of strapping for cash, and I was like, "Well, I'm gonna go back on and buy me another one." Maybe a couple weeks later when I get a big paycheck, and they were sold out, and when they were gone, they were gone. And it sucked because I wanted to have one sealed and one open, and I think that's how it worked, because I think the box set was going to be released like mass, like they did with these. And they probably gave Dave so much for the cassette that, sold them on their website. But then I think what it was the whole deal was Lars wanted more writing credit for the songs that Dave contributed to that than what he was getting. And Dave's like, no, that's my, I contributed to those songs. I want my fair cut. and that was kind of what I hate to say it to a certain extent, but Lars was kind of being greedy, and because I've always known Metallica to always pay royalties to anybody that they've ever done anything, full royalties to anyone that they've ever recorded songs from. Um, so I think it was just an issue between. I think it was more of Lars at that time. I think just wanted to be an ass, and and as much as I love Metallica and as much as I love Lars as a drummer, sometimes some of the things, and I usually back Lars on a lot of things. Don't get me wrong. Like I'll like kind of going off tangent here. Maybe this is going to be another one of videos going down the road. But like with the Napster thing, I always back Lars on that. Some people don't, but my thing is this: at this time, I think he was kind of being a little bit more of a dick, and he was just like, and Dave was like, no, I just want my fair share, and that was pretty much it. And I can't blame Dave for that.
I remember the Napster thing when it was kind of going down. See, back then, I only used Napster for unreleased stuff. Like, I didn't need to get on Napster and listen to Master of Puppets because I had it on CD. I had it on cassette, you know. So I didn't ever have a problem, thinking that I was stealing from the band when I was looking for live stuff, you
Yeah.
know. And I think that if people would have seen how the music industry would be now, they wouldn't have gave him so much shit about it. I mean, it's like he
Yeah.
knew it was going that way.
Yeah.
And I never dreamed, 10 years ago that I'd have to buy CDs online because I can't even find a CD store that will religiously stock new products
Yep.
in a half-hour drive.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to have like Circuit City used to be an option here. Best Buy used to have a nice one. And then you had the mom and pop CD stores and FYE. FYE is too busy selling Funko Pops and Dracula blood and Mick and Morty T-shirts now to stock CDs.
I know, right?
And that's so unfortunate. I hate that, physical media is so hard to get these days.
Yeah.
But I mean, you got to do what you got to do. Like the Blacklist album comes out this Friday,
Yeah.
and I don't know where I'm going to be able to. Like, is Walmart going to carry that?
I doubt it.
I'll look around that week.
Carry the CD version of it, but I don't think they'll carry the vinyl version of it.
See, I don't need the vinyl. I just want the CD for my collection. I've actually found a few of those songs I like a lot. I actually like the Miley Cyrus, Nothing Else Matters a lot, with Elton John on it.
I don't know that I do. I mean, it's one of those songs that's kind of hit and miss for me. I guess it's something I would actually just have to sit down and just kind of like get in my Zen mode and kind of listen, and maybe I'll appreciate it more that way.
Will you pick that up?
What's that?
Will you pick the Blacklist up, or?
I don't know that I will. I mean, there's some songs I like off of it. Some very I don't know. I might. It depends.
See, for me, I seen that it was going to go regular retail for 19 for a 3-disc set. I got to.
Yeah.
I got to check it out. So, but anyway, just us talking about physical media. I didn't order it online because I figure with it being Metallica is one of those bands that still sells records. So I'm hoping I'll be able to find a physical copy of that this weekend.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure you probably will.
If not, I'll Amazon it next week.
Oh yeah.
So, but since they're not on it, I don't think I'm going to get the vinyl.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll be probably $60-$80 anyway for it being. If 3 discs. If it's 3 CDs, it'd have to be freaking 5 or 6 LPs.
Yeah.
So
Well,
CD would be enough for me.
Yeah. Well, there's some
There's
things
some
I want
what?
to talk about going down maybe some later on in the Metallica podcast when we just kind of not doing album stuff and we're doing just maybe like general conversations on Metallica and
Sure.
everything about some of their stuff or whatever and prices and different things like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's pretty much all I really got, man. I mean, if I was
Yeah.
thinking,
And I'd say anybody that's still with us at this point, if you haven't already, hit like, hit subscribe. Just makes it easier for people to find us. And if you have any comments or you want to see this or that coming, or if you say, hey, I really want you guys to do an episode of Rust in Peace, we might do a Rust in Peace episode one day,
yep.
or I want you to do a Jason Newsted solo album episode. Tell us what you want to hear. I'm open to anything.
Yep.
There's a lot
And
more to discuss than just the albums.
exactly. So before we get out of here, Chuck, I want to know if you want to tell everybody what we got coming up next.
Yeah, we had discussed this. It's very new, and it's a pretty hot topic right now. We're going to do sit down, do a black box kind of. We've both opened them, but we're going to talk about our black boxes. Kind of do a box review. I know this week I'm going to really hit the live stuff, and try to listen to some of the stuff. And that's our right now is our plans for the next one is a black box special, and I don't think at this point we're going to review the album. We're just going to kind of go over the content and the era itself. So
Yeah.
I was just saying that we're going to do the black box set, and we're not going to review the album, just the set itself and the contents, and
Yep.
and then we'll decide before we record that. I'm also going to kind of deep dive the material, the DVDs and stuff, and check those out so we can talk about those a little bit. I know there's several of them on the unboxings, but you don't see a lot of reviews. There's a lot of people opening it up and saying, "Oh, this is a cool concert," but not a lot of people say I've watched it and this and this. So
Yeah.
we're going to try to check out all the contents and whatnot over the next couple of weeks, and hopefully by the time we record our next episode, we'll already have the next one figured out what we're going to do.
Awesome.
But we've got some great studio albums. We got some great live albums, and there's tons of one-off singles. I Disappear, and we got Symphonies 1 and 2. Box sets. There's tons to cover.
Oh yeah.
So hit like and subscribe. Comment if you want to hear something special, and we'll be back sooner than later. Then do a box set review on the Black album, and maybe after that we'll hit the Blacklist soon too.
Nice. Yep.
Kind of go with the old and the new. It's cool that there's new stuff coming out.
Oh yeah. No, I mean,
so
that's one thing I can say about Metallica, man. They're releasing stuff all the time, and I just heard that it's official. They're working on a new album, so hopefully that'll be out within another year or so, maybe.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see it this year, but I think next year,
maybe 2020, maybe something.
And Hardwired killed, so I'm excited about them putting out anything new.
And one other thing, just to get with you before we end this, do you have the box set, the Hardwired?
The box set, I do not.
Oh, the vinyl set there, or whatever it was. All right. Well, when we do talk about that album, I'll kind of show that off or whatever. And
sure.
Pretty cool.
No, some of the later box sets I just hadn't got.
Yeah.
I was thinking, because I know I'll get the full album box set. I'm thinking, do I want to buy it and buy it again a few years later?
Yeah.
So I have it on CD, and I've seen it though. Those box sets are so cool. I've thought about getting all the vinyl box sets, to be honest, because they're just so smooth to look at. Do you have any of the regular box sets that where the album's on like 4 or 5 records, or no?
I have the the um the hardwired, and I have the Black Album.
Okay, some of
I
those are pretty expensive.
tried to get the Justice one, and it always just kind of eluded me, and because those were
Yeah,
killer sets when they brought those out.
yeah. I just hate how expensive. Like I think they were several hundred when they came out, and now they're easily probably 4 to 6.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to justify buying that Justice box set when I've already got 3 different CDs of it and 2 different vinyls of it,
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Exactly. I get it.
So, yep, that's it for today. We knocked out Kill 'Em All. I'm sure there's going to be other albums where we have to two-piece it together. That's fine. Next week we're going to talk about the Black Box, so that'll be sweet.
Oh yeah. Oh,
So,
and one final note, I did just remember. Talking about digital downloads for those that don't know, if you're able to find them and you can still get them, if you buy the Metallica colored vinyl remasters or reissues of the first 3 albums, actually first 4 albums, I know that the first 3 come with the digital download cards inside the album. So if you don't have the CD, then that's a good way for you to get the digital music to put on your phone, or whatever, however you want to do it. But just to let people know that they do come with a download card.
cool. That's awesome. I love that part of technology. Some stuff I love about technology I love, and some of it I don't like that it's taken away other things. But what are you going to do? I miss
Oh
the days of going to FYE in the mall and going to a whole aisle of heavy metal CDs and just flipping through and seeing that, and that's never going to happen again. And I miss that.
yeah.
So, but I mean, everything I want in the world is right here. So,
Yep.
what are you going to do?
I know, right?
So, all right.
All right.
That's it for today then.
This is this is this is part 2 done, wrapped up, and a nice little bow at the end.
Episode 2. We'll see you guys back for episode 3.
All right. Y'all have a good day, and remember, kill them all.
Bang the head that doesn't bang.
Metal up your ass. Oh my God.